That is a bit cringy, that noise, but hey-o. Anyway guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to the interior of a BMW 330e. Now, before I continue any further, let's get on the road actually. As far as I'm aware, I'm in electric mode. Can't really hear an engine yet. Anyway, the BMW 330e. This is another addition to the chat.
Our next destination is BC 3.7.
What? No, I don't want to do that. Right, so where was I? So this is another addition to the channel, although it's not actually my car, but I thought it'd be a good comparison for the incoming Tesla Model 3, which is due, I'm told, to arrive before Christmas. Right before Christmas, I think on the 23rd is the collection date. And you know, if you're looking at a Tesla Model 3, you're probably looking at a BMW 3 Series. For so many years, it's been the king of just the everyday car that just does absolutely everything. It's both in terms of practicality, comfort, you know, driving enjoyment, affordability. And because it's BMW, everything just works, everything's quite intelligently placed, let's say. In this 330e, we've got a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine that you find in the 320i basically. That produces 180 horsepower, but then you've also got an 83 kilowatt battery, which by itself produces, I think, about 110 horsepower. But you can't, when it comes to, you know, total power output, you can't just slap them together and combine the two figures. BMW say you know, the power output overall is 249 horsepower, but it does have an extra feature, well, it's called Extra Boost, that provides an extra, I think it's another 30 horsepower for 10 seconds, which is a bit like a KERS system. However, what would have been cool is if you had a great big button somewhere that just had that kind of, like, you know, extra boost. Instead, it's kind of integrated into the driving system, into the BMW driving modes, which brings me on to the transmission. This petrol and electric motor is paired to a 8-speed automatic that you basically find across the whole range. BMW ZF autos are probably the best in class, I'd say. They're unbelievably seamless, much better than the Mercedes equivalent. I've moaned about the automatic transmission in my C43. Now with the 3 Series, this is basically, I mean, the 330e, it used to be that everyone used to buy 320d, but more so the 330e is very popular. Now if you're in the UK, it's very popular for a reason, and it's for one word really: tax. A car, first off, any car with a list value of more than 40k is liable for a completely different tax band, and it's significantly more expensive. My C43 falls into that category. The Tesla Model 3 also falls into that category. It's a bit strange on the Tesla pricing. The 330e in the UK starts from 37,000, so it just about avoids that 40k tax bracket. And then also, because it's a hybrid, there's more tax benefits. Plus, as it stands, you do get benefit in kind. I think it's about 10%, which makes it, you know, if you buy these cars through a company, it just makes a lot more sense. And you know, the 320d used to be the pinnacle of the company car. It's now the 330e, and you know, BMW claim this does 138 miles per gallon, which you can achieve it, but for most of the time it's for one way of putting it. With the electric motor, you can get about 40 miles of range, which is double the previous version of the 330e. So you know, if your weekly commute is kind of less than 40 miles, then it's great. You can do everything on electric mode. However, to stay on full electric, you do have to stay below 68 miles an hour. So if you're doing you know, if part of your journey is on the motorway, you're going to be doing 68 miles an hour on the inside lane, and you know, you might be overtaken by a lorry. So if you can live with that, great, you can do it full electric. But if not, the petrol engine does kick in beyond 68 miles an hour. But all of this, the iDrive, I had a big issue with BMW, kind of the previous generation to this, when I was looking for my C43. I was this close to getting a BMW M4, but what I couldn't swallow was the interiors. BMW have been lacking behind Audi and Mercedes for a good few years now, and this is a massive improvement, obviously, with the latest gen, but I still think it's not a patch on the current gen Mercedes interiors and the new Audi interiors that have come out. One thing that they do well is the quality of the materials. So everything here is very, you know, it's solid. This is a very, very nice steering wheel to hold. Soft touch leather, which I don't know why other Mercedes don't do that. The leather on the Mercedes steering wheels is quite a bit harder. This is nice and soft. It is quite a chunky steering wheel, though, I do have to say. But this is this particular car is the M Sport. So as standard, you do get pretty much everything a company car driver needs. You know, you've got your dual automatic climate controls, you've got heated seats as standard, you've got parking sensors all the way around, plus a rear parking camera, and that comes as standard. You know, other manufacturers, Porsche is really bad for this, charge you for things like that. You don't get electric seats, they are manual, but you get sat nav as standard, you get Apple CarPlay as standard, and CarPlay is now wireless in this. So that's great. No wireless charging in this, but do you know what? I've got wireless charging in my C43. I've never used it because, you know, if you're plugging it up to Apple CarPlay, it's charging the phone anyway. The practicality side of things, I don't really need to go into it too much. It's a BMW 3 Series. It does everything really, really well. You know, if you're looking at this, you've got things like the Audi A4, the Mercedes C-Class. And when it comes to kind of rear space, this is best in class. For both rear passengers and knee room, but because of the electric motor, you do sacrifice some boot space. You know, normal 3 Series, you've got 470 litres worth of space in the boot, whatever that means to you, but that is reduced by 100 litres down to 360 odd, because the batteries, well, actually the batteries are put in the centre where the fuel tank would have been, and the fuel tank's been shifted to the back. And so under the boot, kind of the loading space, you've got the fuel tank. Obviously, prior to doing my own review, I've done a bit of research on this. It's been a while since I've been in a BMW. My previous experiences in a BMW 1 Series, a couple of generations behind. And one thing that I loved about the BMW, just as a whole, they are drivers' cars. There's so much steering feel, and with these electric motors, you know, the car is heavier. The car weighs just over 200 kilograms more than the standard kind of BMW 320d, for example, and you can notice it. And what BMW have done to kind of make it feel less heavy is lighten off the steering wheel, and what that means is the driving's a bit more numb. And just driving around in kind of norm mode like this, I can tell it doesn't feel like I'm driving a BMW. It feels, you've got that traditionally light steering you find in an Audi and Mercedes. Let's throw this into sport. So the dials change over from the blue to the red. So straight away the steering, it is heavier, you can notice that, but that's all it is. It's still quite numb. You don't feel as connected to the road as you used to in, you know, let's say the previous BMW 3 Series or just a 320d. I mean, it's not bad. The electric motor, so this car is rear wheel drive, it's not X drive. if you do actually push this car anywhere near its limits, you'll kind of veer into kind of generally oversteer, not too much understeer like you'll find in kind of front wheel drive counterparts. But in general, you know, the driving position's quite good. You can sit quite low down if you wanted to. I obviously sit a bit higher up because I'm on the shorter side. Now there's something called extra boost, as I mentioned kind of like at the start of the video. That's an extra kind of 30-40 horsepower, taking you to 290 for a grand total of like 10 seconds, which, I mean, the roads are a bit damp, but that was a bit, do you know what, it was a bit sluggish. I don't know, let's test that out again a bit further on. So, I mean, we've got a good driving position, as I've said. The pedals are a bit off-centered to the right. It's a bit strange, like both the accelerator and the brake, so I feel like I'm sitting kind of almost diagonal in a sense, which, I don't know, strange. But the takeoff is, it's very progressive, very linear. You do it with pretty much zero fuss. Which would you have? BMW 3 Series, the C-Class, the Audi A4, and I mean, for the time being, let's leave the Model 3 out of this. Between the three, just as kind of an everyday, affordable, practical car, I'd lean towards the 3 Series, and you know, this 330e is kind of the sweet spot, I suppose. Yeah, it's not as engaging as BMWs used to be, but if that's what you wanted, you've always got the M340i X-Drive as well, so you got the four-wheel drive in that. Very exciting car, massively fast. You know, I think, you know, the interior has been a big step up from the previous generation. It's still not as great. I mean, it's still not as good as Mercedes, but who knows, I might be biased. The screen here, it's a 10-inch touchscreen, which comes as standard on the M Sport car. In the SE and the Sport model, you get the smaller, I think it's like an 8-inch display, and it's not touchscreen. And that all actually works really, really fine, actually. Feels massively responsive, just like moving, just scrolling through the map, which used to be a pain with these kind of touchscreen systems. They were just really slow. But like with most modern day cars, there's 15 million different ways to do one thing. You've got the touchscreen, you've got the rotary control down here, you can squiggle with your fingertip on there. This car doesn't come with the Hey BMW assistant. I think that's part of the tech package, but that's kind of where you can say Hey BMW and turn the, you know, oh wait, hold on, it does. Hey BMW, I'm cold.
Hi, what can I help you with?
Turn the heating up.
Pardon?
Right, it's not very good then, is it? Turn the seat heating on. What the hell is it doing? Cancel. What is it doing?
This.
Hey BMW. Right, so it does have Hey BMW, it seems.
Hello.
I'm cold.
This function is currently not available.
I mean, it turned something on. The heating has come on. So it's done something. But there you have it, guys. This is the BMW 330e. It will be here on the channel for X amount of time. So you'll see it here and there. Particularly, you know, with when the Model 3 arrives, comparing those two cars. Because that's kind of where it sits. I can't really compare this to my C43. But if there is anything more you want to know specifically about the 330e, you know, if you are considering one, the 3 Series in general, do let me know down in the comments below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.